Hey, this is Jerry Joseph. Today we are talking about plumbing, right? The big P in the house, right? So, for example, when I'm at on site, I'm looking at a house. So I'm looking at does the house have PVC or does it have cast iron, right? So, for example, this home it appears to have had a pool in the past, right? So that's the PVC, that's the drainage going into the sewer line. However, this house right here, you can see, right? This is cast iron, right? Generally, the cast iron, we stopped using cast iron back in the 1983 or 1984. So if you have cast iron, most likely at some point in the near future, given the fact that we are in 2022, most likely you're going to need to replace this at some point in the near future, especially if you have done foundation, right? So that's something that you need to definitely pay attention to as you're looking at the house. Again, this is your clean out, right? Going in the house and going to the city, right? To drain out the sewer line into the city line, right? So again, you want to pay attention to this to make sure that you know exactly what the client is getting, right? As this may be potentially a very expensive item that they need to replace in the future. Hey, one other thing that you'll see on the inspection report is that the inspector will call out that there's movement at the water meter. So basically what he's doing though, he's making sure there is no water running inside the house, and he comes out to the meter. If the meter is moving, right? If the meter is moving, as you can see, this is right here. If the meter is moving, it means that there's a leak somewhere in the house, right? So for example, this one, there's no movement, right? It means that we are okay. There's no leakage in the house. When it comes to plumbing, you want to make sure there's no leak in the house. And what I mean by leaks, fresh water leaks, and also the sewer leak. And also you want to check out either the house has PVC or cast iron, and you want to make sure you address if there's any slow drainage in the house. Another thing you'll see on the inspection report, the inspector will point out the water pressure. So what he's talking about, so basically what he does though, right? At the entry point of the home, right? Typically at the faucet hose in front of the house, he'll put a gauge in here and he'll turn the water on, right? That gauge will register the amount of PSI pressure that's going inside the house. Typically, that should be below 80 PSI. If it's above that, then there's a problem. So not really a problem, something that needs to be addressed at the water heater situation where the main source of water is coming out. Assuming the inspector called this house has a slow drain, right? So the first thing that you would do, you would call out a plumber and making sure that they are looking at the drainage system, right? It could be just the debris inside the PVC pipe, right? So if that's the case, then that's an easy fix, right? Let's say the plumber come in and the plumber says, well, there's a bigger problem. So what do you do, right? So at that point, you should hire the plumber and making sure that they do a camera test, right? And what the camera test will do, it will go underground and look at all of the angles of either the PVC pipe or the cast iron pipe to make sure that there is no drainage underground and everything's drained right to the city, right? Typically what happens is, let's say you have a break in the pipe, right? And then there's dirt that comes inside the pipe, then it's going to restrict the flow of the water into the main sewer. Another big item in the inspection report is the water heater, right? So as an agent, what you are looking for on the inspection report, the inspector will call out that the water heater needs to be about 18 inches off the ground. So what that means though is that there should be a platform that the water heater is sitting on. He'll mention the age of the water heater, and generally if the water heater is more than 12 years old, you probably want to get it replaced, right? And remember earlier we talked about the water pressure. So this is a perfect example of how you fix the water pressure. In this case, it could be that the water pressure was above 80 psi. Then this is a regulator to make sure that the water pressure does not exceed 80 psi.
Inspections are done to really help understand essentially what's going on with the house. So an inspector is going to literally dissect every aspect of that home. So for example, if there is a slow drip in the kitchen faucet, the entire plumbing system is going to be marked deficient. That does not mean you as an agent need to get completely worked up, right? Because we're in a position that we can ask questions and help our clients understand what exactly that means. I'm Cindy Joseph, local real estate expert. So if you need any help, certainly reach out to me. I'd love to help navigate you through that world of inspections. If this is the first time that you are on our channel, thank you so very much. Please make sure you hit that subscribe and bell notification. That way you will get instant access to us every single week. We'll see and talk with you soon.